Everyone, Big Seven here, back for a BBL kind of team update halfway through round one. Um, this has been the most ridiculous start to a season I've encountered across all of my years playing SuperCoach across all of the formats. Uh, Sunday night obviously was rain impacted. I was looking at this live cam of Perth Stadium for about half an hour before the match, trying to make the right decision on how many Sixers players I should start, if I would start Hardy or not, and it seemed to keep changing over time. Um, at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 p.m. Perth time, but who cares about Perth? You can use our Eastern times because we're better than you. But yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern time, it looks like there isn't going to be a game at all. Rain's pelting down on this live stream, and then it slowly looks a little bit better. I see a radar, and it's like okay. So I ended up going from my starting team, which I've barely changed since my team reveal. To be fair, so I changed from my starting team of five Sixers players and Hardy and Finn Allen to go down to uh, two Sixers players and Hardy, which are Edwards and Dorcius. Then I see it's getting worse, so I just get everyone out. And then at 7:14, I bring back Dorcius and Hardy. And if I had my time again, I would have had Edwards back as well. But yeah, this is a really crazy start to the year. I'll show you what my team looks like now, and I'll discuss essentially the strategy I'm going for. If all things go well, then I finish yapping, and then teams have come out for the Hobart and Thunder game, and I make my micro adjustments based on that. I think teams came out around about 6:28 last night for the Renegades and Heat game, so hopefully something similar. And I can yap for a bit and then react to those teams and get the video out before the game actually starts. So um, past me is saying to future you to skip to the end of the video if you want to see what the team looks like um, at that point. But yeah, so as I alluded to, went down to one Sixer and one Scorcher player, and that's really just opened up a big can of worms because I wanted to have 11 doubles for this week, and I could still technically have 11 doubles if I wanted to, but that would involve going 10 Hurricanes players. And the more players you get from one team, I feel like it's more diminishing returns you get because it's really hard for a lot of players to do well in one match. I mean, even if I go to last night's game, so I'll go to BBL. Renegades scored 212 runs and they took 8 wickets. And how many players actually scored really well? And Seifert and Peake, and two great innings. Sutherland picked up a few charity wickets towards the end. And yeah, Barendorf, a bit above what you would have paid for him. Sandhu, sure, he's fine. Hassan Khan, I guess you take. Even in that kind of drubbing, there's what, six players that you would be happy with. And I get there's a double, and some players will do well in one game, and some will do well in others. But and yeah, even best case scenario, it was only four players that you would be over the moon with, and the rest are kind of a couple that you'd be satisfied with, and the others you'd wish you didn't have. So I think my strategy for Hobart players is to go seven of them. I think in a normal week the optimal number would be six, but there's a couple of things that play into Hobart. I think the Thunder and the Stars teams have both got, I would say, the two worst batting units, particularly with the Thunder missing out on Dave Warner for this upcoming match. And the Stars, yeah, they just haven't been great for a number of years. Sure, you've got your Maxwell and your Stoinis who will come down the order. But yeah, their depth at the top of the order is not great and generally leaves too much for their middle order to do. So I've gone with seven Hurricanes. I could maybe even push it to eight. I guess the other thing about all these Sixers players being out is that it's freed up a lot of money for me. I had Bubba Azam, who was 150K. Um, Hayden Kerr wasn't, he was about 100K. Jack Edwards, who I wish I had at 111K. And it's just opened up opportunities for me. Um, and in terms of doubles for next week, you've got the Thunder and the Heat. I already planned on having a Freddie in my side, and there aren't that many top priced Thunder or Heat players in general that I'm really interested in. And Bartlett, of course, I was pretty hot on him as well. My plan was to start either him or a Freddie. And just speaking about a Freddie, I mean, what a start to the tournament that was. I did not think him scoring a -1 in Supercoach and getting ejected after 2.4 overs and looking like he'd swapped bodies with the person that serves me banh mi every Saturday. Like, come on, like, how is he? How is a player of this caliber gone this badly in his BBL debut? I'm still confident about him long term, but him scoring a -1, I still it's still unfathomable to me. And thank goodness we've got the flex because otherwise I would be in a world of hurt. So yeah, Freddie and Bartlett, I'm happy with for next week. I think there's quite a few Thunder players that I'll be interested in, as well as Heat players. I mean, let's go through them really quickly. Let's sort by price. So Johnson obviously not going to be here for the tournament with injury, and Ashwin just not going to come down at all. Dave Warner, I'm not playing in the first game, although you could have him as a loophole option. I think 149K is probably a little bit expensive. And sure, he's going to bat out the innings, but he'll probably do that like a 110, 120 strike rate and score his 50 or 60 on. Yeah, probably get what you pay for. But I don't think there's a lot of upside in the Warner pick myself, but I could see people going there. Chris Green, the player I affectionately call the criminal because of his formerly suspect bowling action and potentially questionable ethics, although that's not really that questionable, but he'll always be a criminal in my eyes. But yeah, he's actually an okay option. He should get a decent swing of the bat. Probably comes in at like 6 or 7 or 8 potentially. And bowls is 4. Normally pretty economical, but doesn't take a ton of holes. It's probably a fair price as well. But someone I'll fade. Minus test squad. Renshaw is someone I'm interested in. Only scored 18. I thought he would bowl last night, to be honest. McSweeney did bowl ahead of him and didn't look great doing it. Renshaw does have a history of bowling somewhat decently in the Big Bash, so I'm interested in him next week, along with McSweeney. And again, like had all this money left over from not having Azam and Edwards, so I went a different route. And if you saw the team before, you'll see the route I'm alluding to, but I'll go back to that in a sec. But yeah, Agar, he's not even in the squad. Ferguson's not there. Shadab's definitely an option for this week or next week. If you like him, go for him. Sam's in the team at the moment, although he's a potential pivot out, but definitely someone I want for next week. Tanvir, I like. He's going to be a pod option. I feel it really just depends if I get the bowling slots open for him, but he's a solid pick as well. Constus, I like. I'm probably tossing up between Sam's and Constus tonight, just depending on how teams are. Bancroft, he's okay at 81K. This is another one that will probably plot along, won't go at a high click, but he can score some decent runs. I'd probably be more interested in him if he played at a better home ground, but NG Stadium isn't the greatest for batsmen. It's definitely a more bowler friendly stadium. Nathan McAndrew interested if he plays. Koeneman locked out, but he could be an option for next week. Um, Pearson scored big but batted down the order. He could be a sneaky one if he replaces Wildermuth at the top of the orders, to be honest. But Probably still fade him. Bryant, no. Munro, I can't pick him after last year. I think I traded him when he was at 90k and he went down in price and was awful. So maybe a better year from him this year, but he's still pretty ancient. I think I mentioned McSweeney, bowled a bit last night, was pretty unlucky with his run out, been in form in the Shield. Don't mind him as an option for next week. And Woodermith, I was so against this pick. I'm not even sure if I would have started him if he was listed at 7 or 8, but this is at the top of the order. And with all the changes that happened, I wanted to start Finn Allen over him. And Finn Allen looked okay in his first game, but didn't reach 20. Would have got strike rate if he did, though. I wanted Finn Allen over him, but with all the rain around, I wasn't going to pick Finn Allen in a rain reduced game. Rain reduced games generally are better for bowlers because instead of teams going 6 for 160, 170 in a typical game, they're more likely to go 6 for 80 or 90 or however many overs are left. And even in those shortened games, you do tend to see a lot of teams bowled out. So I prefer bowler heavy in rain impacted games. Wasn't going to get Finn Allen after the game was reduced. So I ended up with Wilden Ruth, who I was pretty vocally against. But look, the sign of a good player is being able to adapt to information and not getting hung up on your previously bad takes. You know, you can't just be stuck in the mud and say, "No, I'm not going to change when the information's changed just because I don't like a player." You do have to be the bigger person. So I'll admit that I was too much of a Muth hater, but I picked him in the end, and he'll end up going on my field. And yeah, everyone else not fantasy relevant. So yeah, I'll get back to the team. Essentially, what my Sixers players enabled, and this Wildermuth, is that I had more money left over, and I also going into round one, my plan was to trade Sixers players to round two doubles, being Heat and Thunder players. And so, yes, I could have filled out the rest of the squad with Thunder and Heat players entirely. But where does that leave me for round two? That leaves me with no trades to make. And you get 3 free ones every week and boost even if you want to. So I thought this is a good opportunity to take a punt on a single game week player. And the player I've punted on is Matt Short. I know others have gone for Sutherland or Overturn. I think it's really pick your poison. I'm going to back Shorty in at the SCG against a weakened Sixers lineup. Uh, Probably his S6 bowler as well. And he's just Matt Short. I don't think there's too much anyone can say bad about him. He's just a great player. And as long as he gets his 20, he'll end up being fine. I could go for an extra Hurricanes player. I do have some concerns about that as well. I did mention the diminishing returns about that earlier, having too many players from one side. But there's also the round two implications where um, they're going to play in Geelong on Sunday next week, and there is a little bit of rain around. I've been looking at this forecast for like the past few days, and it's very on off, whether it's going to rain or not. At one stage, it was 80% chance of rain, and it was going to happen all day. Now it seems to be a little bit of chance of rain when the match is going to start. So if that game's entirely rained off, and you've got 8, 9, 10 Hurricanes players, you can only trade 3 of them out unless you boost. Then you can get 4. It gives you no room for luxuries, and I just don't think it's ideal in that worst case scenario. Um, so look, I can see it working out where you go 8 or 9, and um, you don't have to trade too many of them out. In particular, um, if there's no rain around. But for me, I'm going to stick with my 7. if there's no rain for that game next week, then beauty. I've got 7 doubles, plus I've already got Joe Clark, which is 8. And then round 3, when the Canes and Stars are both on double, then I just trade 3 stars in and I've got 11 doubles there. So I can see it working, but I'd rather go for Matt Short. It does mean I have to bring in a loophole, which is fine. The plan next week is to trade Short, O'Connor, and one other player out, probably Dorches, and that'll be to 3 Thunder slash Heat players. Bench players, I mean, Hardy, even with the shortened game, I thought he was a lock. Wildermuth, I'll be happy to field next week, and we'll probably get 40 points from him, even in a God tier role next week. But you got to pick him, unfortunately. Hassan Khan, maybe not the best pick without with the doubles not in the near future, but he's just my guy. And we saw last night that he scored 38 points. He didn't take a single wicket with the ball. He did bowl 3 overs, and his first over wasn't great, but I thought he bounced back okay. 17th over, he got hit a little bit, but so were all the other um, Renegades bowlers on that deck. But he still bowled okay, I thought. And bowling 3 overs and batting at 6, again, he batted above Sutherland. Um, didn't get much of a bat because Ollie Peake and Tim Seifert had amazing innings. I mean, how often is that going to happen? Hopefully not too much for my Hassan Khan megapod, but I think there's positive signs for him going forward. Um, so yeah, he's probably one I want to hold. So yeah, the plan is probably Short, O'Connor, and we'll see what happens with the Canes game. I mean, there's potentially rain around there. Potentially rain around for the Sydney Smash as well. That's been changing day to day as well. So um, I may end up even being in a scenario where I mean there could be a lot of players that are impacted next week. Canberra looks okay now for Monday, but the days before it have rain, so we could have a really crazy round next round. So um, I didn't want to go to Hurricane heavy is basically what I'm saying. I've got 7 of them. The 6 I originally talked about in my team reveal, and I'm either adding Ahmed or Chowdhury. I think one of them bats at 3. Do we have lineups out yet? Not yet. Do we have a toss out yet? No toss. I should be coming pretty shortly. But yeah, my players I mentioned in the team reveal, Ellis Meredith, Hussein, they're all locked in as bowlers for me. Um, McDermott, I think that's at 4 or 5, and at only what's 80k, I'm willing to go for it. Mitch Owen, crazy good year last year, and uh, with all the money that we've got and all the value options on the bench, it's just can't fade him. Tim David, you could potentially fade. I think he's going to bat at 5 based off recent comments. But I think he'll get shifted up the order if Hobart are on top of the game or ahead of the game and they want to take an early surge. Um, or he could get pushed back later if Hobart get off to a poor start. But I think most games he'll be in somewhere between that 12th and 15th over to, and that'll give him enough um, opportunity to get that quick fire 20 runs off and maximum strike rate bonus. And as long as he can do that in at least one of his 2 games, then he'll be a fine pick for this week. If you can do it in both, that would be even better. Also, be amazing if I can get this team line up, though we're still not near a toss. I'm just going to check how was it. What time did teams actually come out last night? I might have jumped the gun actually. I think teams came out at 6:40 last night, and like the Renegades teams came out at 6:35 or something like that. What else is there to yap about? Yeah, I've spoken about weather for next round. I'm probably not going to get around to a video between rounds one and two. Round one being a Thursday night game. I do plan on going to that game as well. Should be fun to see the Stars get pantsed once again. Wouldn't call myself a Stars supporter, but MCC members, so do get to a few Stars games, but it's hard to be a supporter when they've got about three good players. So Hobart should trounce them pretty easily. I haven't talked about the captain. I'm going to go for Nathan Ellis with the um, Thunder having a weakened lineup without David Warner and the Stars. I can't badmouth them enough. I think Mitch Owen is solid as well if you wanted to go down that route, but I think there's a very real chance that Hobart take 10 wickets in both of their games, particularly if they're bowling second. It is possible to bowl teams out in the first innings, but it's more likely that they get through a team's entire lineup in the second innings, while a team, because if you're 6 or 7 wickets down in the 15th over your first innings, then you tend to consolidate and try and bat out the innings compared to if you're that many wickets down in the second innings, but you've got 70 runs to chase, then you still have to go out hard and do it. But it goes both ways as well. If you're comfortably going along in the second innings, and um, if you're only 2 or 3 wickets down in a second innings and you're chasing a runner ball, then you're going to play pretty conservatively and chase that down easily. Whereas if you're 2 or 3 wickets down in at the 14 or 15 over mark of the first innings, then you tend to swing a bit harder and aim for that higher total, and that brings a wicket. So um, in general, wicket taking is a bit more variable in the second innings, but if you're a good bowling lineup and a good team, which Hobart are this year, then I would rather take that variance if in the second innings. So I'm hoping they uh, bowl second in both games. 5 new posts. We're gonna get Metro updates. Yeah, thanks Metro. Um, Not what we need right now. Generally speaking, I think getting them off cricket.com.au is one of the faster methods. There's also uh, so if you're looking for quick lineups, I generally use Seven Cricket, who I'm just following. They normally have BBL lineups out pretty quick, um, or just the team's social media. I think Hobart have been a bit dodgy in the past, just in terms of not putting a batting lineup out in the right order. Some teams have put their team lineups out, and everything will be nicely ordered for you. You know where everyone's batting, but um, Hobart have been funky with that in the past. As for the Renegades last night, naming everyone in alphabetical order, but that's to be expected. Whereas if you go to cricket.com.au, sometimes they're first to get it out, but if they aren't, they generally, I think they get the team sheet. So they, the order on the cricket.com.au website is normally accurate. So that's another handy tip for those of you playing along at home. Um, and yeah, normally it's normally out about 3 or 4 minutes after they put the toss result in. Um, all right. I'm not waiting this long. All right, let's yap about some NFL while I've got a bit of time. So I'm thinking about doing NFL content next year, both in terms of redraft leagues, so those are your typical sleeper sleeper drafts where you draft against 11 other people, and playoffs for those started this week, and things went mostly bad for me, but I typically do well in those leagues. I normally do a bunch of best ball leagues as well, which is good. And then the SuperCoach, it's been pretty good this year. I've been on the right side of a lot of variance there. Been up to fourth overall, two trades left. Um, Also in the semi-final of the Eliminator slash SC Cup. It would be cool if they can introduce this for AFL. I know they can't for BBL because the season only lasts for 12 minutes, so unable to do that. But yeah, doing pretty well. Yeah, semi-final of Eliminator up against Hammy, who's in first. I think we have about three pods, but he's got to trade Mahomes out. Drake May has been awesome this year. Um, yeah, he's been another one of my boys. I almost started him, but I traded into him. I think it was round three, and um, haven't looked back. So he's been good. In terms of overall, I guess Hammy's ranked number one, 135, 136 points behind him. Made up a few this week, but he's got a great team, and I can say that because we've got about three players different. So um, probably I'm not expecting to make up the ground on him, and he's a smart boy as well. So he's not like other coaches where he's going to throw things away or make stupid captaincy calls, etc. He's going to do things pretty optimally, which is what why he's at the top at the moment. There is a chance of hitting the second though, which would be good. Only top two players get paid out in Supercoach NFL. Yeah, I think first is like 2 grand and second is $500. So I'll take the $500 if I can make up 20 points on second, and hopefully no one else surges. I'm only down to two trades though, and if I cop some injuries towards the back end of the year, it could be sad, but only 3 weeks to go. And also winning the cup's another $500. So I'll take one, if not both of those. Still not getting a toss. No. All right, I'll show you the team pretty quickly. Drake May, QB2, Josh Allen, QB1. Um, for those that do NFL, like your normal NFL leagues, not Supercoach, you'll see that it's pretty loaded. Probably the top four running backs on the year: Gibbs, CMC, Taylor, and Bijan. Achan would be nice to have, especially with Daniel Jones getting injured for the Colts, but uh, we'll probably grin and bear it for a bit. Seahawks aren't a bad defense as well, so 22 is not an awful score. We'll give him another week against San Fran, probably. The wide receivers, I think, are the top five, and then Rashee Rice, who's been great. He might be a trade out with Mahomes injured, but being down to two and playing the Titans this week, he's a 1 week hold for me and reevaluate. McBride Bowers, one and two tight ends. Harold Fannin, he's another one of my boys. Drafted him in nearly every redraft league I did. Um, I think there were, yeah, out of my main redrafts, I drafted him in three of them. No team yet. Interesting for the Heat to welcome Shaheem after that start to the year. Um, and yeah, Fannin's my boy. Yeah, drafted him in most of my leagues, and I think there's the main league I do is the one where I got sniped on him on waivers, and I'm still salty about that. So fuck you, AC. Should have given me Fannin back. Aubrey, the goat kicker, even though he missed a couple this week, he's still my goat. Um, been a fan of him since before day one. Uh, And then Eagles, DST, they were shaky in the middle of the year, but they've bounced back and some good matchups coming up. And yeah, that's the NFL team. So give us a. All right, let's go back to BBL. So yeah, my predictions for Hobart, we'll see how. Ooh, I've got green dots. So let's see the green dots. Who is missing? Anyone relevant? Stan Lake playing. So that means no Tim Ward. Ooh, so we could have Chowdhury up the top of the order, or Ahmed, or even both. With Stanlake in the side, that's the extra bowling option. Um, so bowlers, yeah, it didn't really filter things out, but Chowdhury probably doesn't bowl much, if at all. Um, Owen, maybe one or two. Alice Meredith, Hussein, four, I would guess. Chris Jordan, somewhere between two and four, but more likely to be four. And then Ryan Ahmed is probably competing for overs between Stanley, who'll bowl a couple, I think, one or two. Owen maybe doesn't bowl. But yeah, Ryan Ahmed is a bit shaky unless he's named in the top five. Do we get a team? And we get it in order. And wow, we get Chowdhury and Ahmed at the top of the order. Oh, that is spicy. Yeah, McDermott four, Wade, David five, Wade six. Do I want Chowdhury or Ahmed or both? Because I could rearrange the team around. That would mean getting short off field. I think I would back short in a single over Chowdhury in a double. Um, yeah, that is a curveball. Um, yeah, I'm shook. In a good way as well, because I've taken Chowdhury for top Hurricanes run scorer for this match at $13. So hopefully that can get up. But do I want Ahmed or do I want Chowdhury? I reckon I'll go Chowdhury looking at that lineup because I'm sure they'll both get a decent. Actually, no, I got to go Ahmed because he'll bat at three, Meredith four, Hussein four, Alice four, Jordan and Stanley. I will say combined for between four to six, and so that should leave Ahmed two to four, and hopefully Owen doesn't bowl. I think Ahmed just has too much ceiling to ignore. Um, Chowdhury, and he isn't cheap. He's 126. But batting at the top of the order, do I back him to outscore short in a, or do I back him to outscore Wildermuth in a double? How much is Sam? Sam's 116. Um, I think I would back. See, I could have played Jordan over Wildermuth, but I didn't think Jordan would outscore Wildermuth scoring a double. But I think that Ryan Ahmed would. And I reckon shout at the top of the order is a decent shout as well. So if I get rid of short, maybe I go Chout. Um, oh God, I don't want to do Clark to Harper. What if I just put a loophole, cheap player up there that is Jilks playing? Jilks is playing as well. Wow. Should have six, Sam seven, Green. McAndrew is a cheap one, but my bowling line is locked out because I put Watermoose there. I do like McAndrew, but I would have to put him on field, and I'm not fielding him. Um, wow, this is not what I was expecting when I wasn't expecting this. Cheap keepers, Shaw's locked out. God, Nielsen on a bench. No. Um, I think I have to fade short then. I think Overton's fine. I know Overton will bat six and bowl his complement, so yeah, he's fine, I guess. Yeah, I don't want to miss out on Clark. That means I'd need a 55k player, so that's just my same. I'm Ward not playing. If it's a, I mean, I was planning on looping Watermouth on. I could just get this Wadia guy, and then my plan next week is, and I hope that Wadia plays, but if he doesn't, then that's fine. The plan would be Overton, Wadia, and Dorcas out next week. But yeah, I think that means I'm fading Watermouth's score. I think I think all my players on field outscore Wildermuth. I mean, 79 is definitely a bankable score. Chowdy at the top of the order twice against the Stars bowling lineup as well. Can't fade that. Can't fade Meredith. Um, Definitely not fading Hussein. Griff will kill me, so no. Um, Ellis is a C. Ahmed, I can't fade him, not at 3. Mitch Owen. Oh, David would be an interesting fade, to be honest. Um, He'd be pretty scary. Um, who are their bowlers? Saya, Sam's Granstad. I should take a few polls. Canes are going to bowl first. Oh, maybe I fade David. I reckon I fade David. I want Matt Short. Let's fade David. Um, do I think Wildermuth outscores David? I think it's close. I think it's close. With the Canes bowling first, they can keep them to a competitive total, and then there's a scenario where he doesn't bat at all, where Owen, Ahmed, Chowdhury chase it down. I reckon that's a scenario I will play for. So let's get Chowd. Um, let's get Short. Let's get my loophole back in the bowler line. So that'd be O'Connor. And then let's get Sands for future week. Wow, I can't believe I'm fading David after having him in my side all preseason. But yeah, it's happening. I think I don't. I could go 8 Canes, but it feels bad. I'm going to play for the scenario, and let's pray that it happens. We'll play for the scenario where the Canes bowl them out cheap, and so we captain Nathan Ellis. He can still get poles at the end of innings. Um, in a first innings game, wickets do fall at the back end of the first innings, regardless of the team generally. Even if you're 2 down or 6 down, you're still trying to smash the final couple of overs. So let's go LFC. We play for the scenario where Thunder get bowled out relatively cheaply. They score maybe 130, 140. And then our boys at the top of the order, Owen Chowdhury, Ahmed, they chase the runs down. Tim David scores nothing. Wildermuth goes on field. And then David owners are crying and have to hope he scores well against the Stars. So let's play for that scenario. This is going to be my final team. Good luck for the rest of the round. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, fuck Tim David.